Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Jamieology. My name is Jamie, and today we are going to be doing a home edit version of organizing. So I've been really into the home edit lately, watching it on Netflix pretty regularly, and it just inspired me to get more organized, especially in my office space, which I wanted to be more colorful and just more functional overall. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so before I get into the organizing process, I wanted to give you a little backstory about what I use my office for. And obviously, I use it for my content creation, I use it for writing articles and blog posts for Fiverr, and I also use it as a storage space. So I have a lot of pots and pans and different kitchen utensils that I don't keep in the main kitchen just because I share that with 3 other roommates and I don't really feel like having my nice stuff get ruined. So I kind of keep that in my office so I can use it just me. So this space is kind of a multifunctional space, so organizing and keeping everything neat and accessible is kind of a struggle. And luckily I have these 8 cube storage organizers, which I use for everything. I love how they look, and the bright white just brings out all the colors as well. So with that, let's get into kind of what I did for the organizing process and the different little projects that I did going through and organizing everything. Alright guys, so I wanted to start by kind of showing you what this looked like beforehand in my office. And I don't consider myself a very messy person. I tend to be pretty organized, but my organization so far hasn't been too aesthetic, so I really like the way that the home edit makes organization look beautiful. So that's what I'm going to try to recreate here. As with any home edit, the first part of the process is editing, which means getting rid of anything that you don't need anymore, anything that's just taking up space that you never use. And I didn't have to do a whole lot of that here because I had edited out stuff pretty recently, so I didn't have to do a whole lot of editing. The next step was kind of reorganizing the space and bringing in some organization tools. I already had 1 cube storage and I had another cube storage in my closet that I decided to bring out and give myself some more space. The next step was categorizing, and I kind of did this as I was putting stuff on the shelves, which isn't classically part of the home edit, but it worked well for me. I started with my books just because I was really looking forward to organizing my books in color coordinated order, as they do in the home edit with all of their projects. So this was a lot of fun. It was more challenging than I thought it was to put books in color order, just because some books have different colors in them and it can be hard to tell which place they belong best. So props to the home edit for being able to do that so easily. I decided to keep the books on one of the top shelves because I don't always have to reach for books every day, so this worked out very well. Next up, I decided to use the top shelf of the cube storage as kind of a crafting zone. As you know, the home edit does zones in all of their organization. So for this, I got this cute round vase that I used to sort all of my Sharpies, and I tried to put them in color order so that it looked very aesthetic and pleasing. And I will tell you, this is more complicated than they make it look in the show, but it was a lot of fun to try to get these to stay in the same place while I was putting them in the vase. I really loved how this turned out, and it added a lot more color to my shelves, which is one of my favorite parts about the home edit. And I got all of my Sharpies out of those plastic bins where I couldn't really see what I had. So the next part was adding more color through using these little glass vases that I got at the Dollar Tree for $1.25, and I used those for all of my other types of Sharpies, markers, and pens, because this just got them more out in the open and helped brighten up the space even more. And I put those in the same cubby as the other Sharpies. While this did take a while, I am happy that I did it because now I can easily access all of my writing utensils when I need them, especially for bullet journaling and all of my projects. So this made me very happy. Even though it took a long time, it was totally worth it. For the next 2 boxes, I decided to use concealed storage, as they call it in the home edit, because I have a lot of odds and ends of craft pieces that I use for various projects, and I wanted to put those all in one place so that I have easy access to them whenever I need them. And then in the other bin, I decided to put any extra office stuff, so all of my note cards, extra tape, extra staples, anything that I need to use in the office that I didn't really classify as craft. In this bin, I also used some clear acrylic bins that I got at the Dollar Tree for $1.25, and they worked out really well for just keeping everything in place, and I kind of want to get some more to use in the craft bin as well. The last cubby in the craft zone is going to be all of my paper storage, because I have a lot of cardstock in various colors. So I had this 5-drawer unit that I wasn't really using practically anymore, that I decided to take the drawers out of it and use that as a standing paper organizer. And I didn't like the colors that it was anymore, so I decided to spray paint it white to match all of my other organization stuff. And how I did that was I used a garbage bag that I cut open as a tarp so that I could do it in our screened-in porch and make it a little bit easier on myself. So I just gave it an even layer of white paint, making sure I got the inside of the shelves as well. And once that was done, I got to take it and put all of my paper back into it. So as the home edit always does, everything was organized by color in rainbow order. So I organized it all throughout the 5 shelves, and I had to combine a few colors, which I would have preferred not to do, but it still turned out looking amazing. And that finished off my crafting zone, so I'm really happy with how that zone turned out. The next zone that I worked on was a cooking area, and I have these nice pans that I keep in the office just because we have roommates and I would prefer that these pans stay a little bit nicer until we move out. So we are currently storing them in the office. I had a bunch of other cooking storage that I needed to keep in the office as well. Again, nicer things that I wanted to keep until we move. So those are going in some concealed storage bins that I added to the second shelf, along with some containers and some other utensils. The top shelf of the storage unit I decided to use for all of my sentimental stuff, any of my scrapbooks, and all of that stuff is up there, along with a couple cute decoration pieces. One of the last things I needed a storage place for was all of my paint supplies, and I found a really cute idea using these wooden crates from the Dollar Tree for organizing all of your paint. And I'm not really sure who came up with it first, because I've seen it a couple of different times, but it is a very cool idea, and I decided to use it and put my own little spin on it. So the first thing I did was I spray painted all of these wooden crates white, just because I wanted it to match all of the cube storage and all of my other organization stuff. So spray painted all of those boxes white, and I found out I really hate spray painting things, but I dealt with it. Once they were spray painted, the next step was to put them all together with hot glue. So I used hot glue on the long side of each of these boxes. I stacked them 3 high before attaching them all together. And they fit perfectly together in a square if you organize them in this way. And this is what the boxes should look like when you're all done. To add some character to this, I decided to grab these labels from the Dollar Tree, and I wrote the different colors of paint that I had on there, and I painted a little circle next to each color in the color that it was. I thought this made it really bright and cute and made it easier to find colors too. I put the labels on the side of where each of the paints would go inside of the organizer, so that it made it easy to find the paint that you were looking for and just made it look really cute on the shelf. And last but not least, I put all of the paints in the corresponding color spots. I used the hole in the center to put a plastic cup there and hold all of my paint brushes. And then I put this right on the top of the right cube storage. I used the rest of my storage labels to label the concealed storage. Alright guys, so this is the finished product, and I wanted to take you through all of the zones as they do in the end of every home edit episode. So we have our book zone where I can find any book that I would like because it's in color order. And then I have a office and craft zone where I have all my paper, all of my utensils, everything like that. The next shelf is hobbies, so I have my electric stuff, gardening, music, and outdoor stuff. The next shelf down is all of my baking stuff, and then it kind of goes into cooking and pans on the bottom. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel so that you get updated whenever I post a new video, and I will see you guys in my next video.